I mean, this is like too entertaining. I could do this all day. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Kevin.
And in today's episode of the Steven and Kevin Show,
we swap faces.
And we'll cover areas like
one key thing to improve your affluent marketing,
how to communicate to clients when you've gotten an industry recognition,
and our favorite language for converting social contacts into business opportunities.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 16. Here we are today with a little bit of face swap action.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? Do you think that's pretty cool? A little face swap live is the app. Check it out.
I'm just guessing they're thinking, man, these guys, this episode is going to be like all lettuce and bun. No meat to this one.
Oh, we're going to bring you some meat.
They used all their creative energy on face swapping.
But it's an app. It's called Face Swap Live. It cost me 99 cents, Steven, okay? But I think it's worth every penny. It's a lot of fun. It's actually hilarious when you start swapping faces. I did Matt and I earlier, and it was awesome.
That was a classic.
Yeah.
All right, first things first here. We've got a question from Becky. And she says, knowing what you know now, if you could pick the one big thing to get more affluent clients in your biz, what would it be? Hashtag Ask Steven and Kevin.
One thing. Just one thing. It's hard to pick just one thing. But in terms of acquiring affluent clients, and I'm going to take one here, and hopefully this is not the one that you're going to use, Steven, because I get to go first. The luxury of going first.
It'll be a 2 for 1 then. It'll be two big things.
I think it's the power of just getting social. The power of socialization with your clients. I think traditionally bringing in business, how advisors did it, it was a lot of colder tactics, and I think that they kept this very business relationship with clients. We've seen this trend with our research in terms of just the importance and the value that comes with getting social. I mean, improving things like their perception, the affluent's perception of their investment performance goes up tremendously if they have a business and social relationship with you. Their willingness to introduce you doubles, referrals like triple. It's absolutely ridiculous the impact that has on your business, and I think that would be it. Spend time getting social.
Yeah, it's up there. And you're right, Kevin. It is hard to pick just one. I think I'd go for the personal introduction.
Yeah.
And I think the impact, if you only had one skill when it comes to client acquisition, and if that skill were uncovering people's connections and asking them to put you in front of people they know, I think the results would be there, more so than if you said, my only one big thing would be working with other professionals, or my only thing would be networking.
Yeah.
If you've got the power to ask, Kevin to introduce you to Matt, and Matt's willing to do it because Matt knows you and likes you, that's pretty powerful marketing.
Yeah, I think the credibility transfer that happens is unreal.
What's the answer we give Kevin to somebody who calls us and asks us for that one piece of advice when they're asking us?
Like what's your best marketing tactic? Yeah. Our answer is the one you execute.
Oh.
Right? But you know what? I think those are both great ones.
But your point well taken, Kevin. Even though we don't actually tell people that because it's kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
The one you execute, you could spend your whole day cold calling and it would still work for you, although it's not the highest ranked when it comes to affluent marketing. You'd probably start at the top of the list with the introduction, with social prospecting, and all of that.
Hey, can we do a giveaway? I mean, we like to do giveaways on the show. We have a 2016 Affluent Investor infographic that we have actually not released to the public. If you would like a copy of this, and it's some really interesting data, you ask us a question using hashtag AskStevenandKevin on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll send it to you.
2 for 1 deal. We'll actually throw in the Affluent Consumers infographic as well. 2 for 1.
Good stuff here.
Question number 2 is from Michael Goodrich. He says, we were just named one of the top 150 firms in the country for planning. How would you effectively communicate that? Thanks.
Love it. That's great. And good for you, Michael. How do you communicate that? Well, you do it a lot of different ways. I think any way that you can get it across.
Social media would be one, clearly.
Yeah.
The other thing is sometimes people feel like they're bragging. This one's different because it's kind of like a firm, your whole firm is recognized as being one of the top financial planners. But for many of you out there, you're thinking about this, your firm has recognized you as Chairman's Club or President's Club or any number of designations. And how do you get that out without sounding like you're bragging?
Well, I think you look for opportunities where people are asking you some of those questions about how's business, how are things? And I think you have to say it in a very humble way that, things are very productive right now. We're honored to actually be ranked one of the top 150 firms in planning right now. Like we're honored or something like that, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
And if it's something more personal to you, if it's a designation that you've gotten as, I've gotten onto the Barron's list, or I got a certain level of recognition within my firm, then you can also consider having your manager reach out to people and telling them about it.
I think that's
that's
great
very
idea.
natural. And you see that on social media occasionally. I love those LinkedIn posts where it's like, I'm proud to announce that Kevin Nichols here has made the executive platinum status with such and such.
Yeah.
I don't think that's one of the tiers. But
yeah, I don't know if that's one, but no, I hear you. What about taking? So we look at it, the digital side of it, right? So social media, things like that. We look at the verbally, you're out talking, socially prospecting. Also print wise too. I mean, put some in your office, make it a talking point. If someone's coming in and that they're seeing that very prominently, you should have that displayed somewhere.
And be prepared for follow-up questions on that one. I think the one on financial planning is unique. You're ranked for financial planning, and that's important.
Yeah.
But what about some of the others, Kevin, where if it's like, okay, I reached President's Club within my firm.
You need to be able to.
What does that
explain
mean? You're the top sales guy around there?
That's exactly right. Good point.
So clarifying to people that, well, among other things, it's doing a good job for our clients. It's finding certainly new, attracting new clients to our group, but making sure that people understand there's more that goes into that than just being an effective salesperson.
I like it. Before we move on, one more point here, one idea. Social media wise, blog wise. I mean, why don't you create a series of blogs about the value of planning or planning tips, and mention in there, weave it naturally throughout how you were ranked top 150.
I like it. Absolutely. Any client events you're doing, start off by mentioning that. Hey, thanks everybody for coming. If you haven't heard yet, you've heard it now. We're top 150 for planning.
Love it.
So thank you for all of your work with us.
Next one's actually a phone call that I just got.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one. I can't even. I don't know
you
if
can't even decipher my notes here. This gentleman just called in. He had a question. He saw a presentation recently that Matt Oechsli put on, and he had a follow-up question. And his question was, he said, "Look, I've been in this small town. I've been an advisor for 35 years in this small town, and I'm in a bank, so I get a lot of referrals naturally through the bank channel. But I have a lot of social contacts that know what I do, but I've never approached them about business. And what's the language I should use? What should I say?" And I said, we're going to answer this in the show. We're about to record it, and I'm going to send you a link to the show. So he was pumped for that, and he's waiting on Steven's response to that. What are you going to say?
As you're reading that question, I have this vision in my head of a guy in a small town in a bank, and I've got it. And I also was thinking through, just the analogy to dating. If it was like, okay, I'm in a small town. I know everybody. There's a lot of women there that I find attractive and that would be perfect for me. What do you think I should do?
Right.
It's like, hey, man, it doesn't really matter that you nail the language, but you got to start asking for some dates.
You got to act, right?
Right. I mean, we could work on the language for the next year and a half, but unless you're willing to go out and use it, we're never going to see the client acquisition numbers.
And he admitted that he was a little timid about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I mean, especially in that small town atmosphere to where you can sully your reputation pretty quickly.
Wow.
I don't get to use that word every day.
That word. Wow, I'll need a dictionary here.
But it's like, you're seeing those people being interviewed for the Iowa caucuses, and they're saying, well, our town's small enough to where you don't have to use a turn signal. If you're turning, whoever's behind you, they know where you're headed.
Right.
So, there are some towns that are smaller than others. But, what I think is, I think people are really open in smaller towns because they know you and trust you. And if you go at it with something that's not over the top formal, if it's like, hey, Kevin, we've been living here for the longest time together. I've never really sat down formally with you and, excuse the word formally. Kevin, I've never had the chance to really sit down with you and share with you what we're doing and learn more about how you're positioned financially. Would you be open to at least having a conversation with us?
I love that.
Something really down home, not...
It wasn't pushy.
Right.
It wasn't. Would you be open to this? Can we visit? Can we visit with you about what we do professionally? I like that one too. So,
if they say no, what do you respond? Hey, are you going to the pig picking this Friday night?
Exactly.
I can say that. I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah, he's from Burlington. All right,
so,
cool. That was it.
That's essentially it. I mean, but if you're in a smaller town, don't overthink the messaging. Just get it out there pretty often in your own down home kind of way, to where you think in worst case, even if they turn you down, it's not a friendship killer, and life goes on.
Exactly. If you have a question, use hashtag Ask Stephen and Kevin. You can use it on Instagram. You can use it on Twitter. We'd love to feature one of your questions for the show.
We've got a great series of webinars coming up. Take a look at our website. I would mention a date, but some of you are going to hear this later than others. So look at our website under the main navigation bar that says webinars. We're doing some on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on selling to the affluent, on referral alliances, any of which are worth tuning into. And we hope you'll join us. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. I gotta take this off.
Oh no. Hold on, which one is me? I'm so confused right now.
I'm Steven.
So this is me.
I'm Steven. Yeah, so when I say I'm Steven.
I'm like so confused
Well,
right
because
now.
it's when you talk, it looks like my mouth.
I don't know which one to really look at.
So you have to come in a little closer.
Look at this one. Look at like the one that's on your body.
Hold on, come on. There it goes. Why do I look like that? Why do I have such a scrunchy face?